Okay, we are day number 3, Romford Horror Festival this year. Here with some filmmakers behind the feature and the short that we've just seen. If you'd like to just introduce yourselves and your role within the film and the name of the film, please, just for everyone.
I'm Stephen M. Smith and the writer-director of Borley Rectory, The Awakening.
And I'm Jess Inchbald and I am the actress in Borley Rectory, The Awakening.
And I'm Andrew Bateman, director, producer, a bunch of other stuff on Go Down Diller.
Have you come all the way from America for this?
Yeah, yes.
Wow, thank you very much. Can we have a round of applause, please? Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been great. I got to see some friends I haven't seen in a long time. So,
lovely.
Yeah.
Let's start with yourself and Andrew. How was it like to see your film up on a big screen? Have you seen it many times on a big screen, or is it at the end of its run now?
Yeah, no, it's sort of right in the middle of it right now. So I love when it's in a real movie theater. So sometimes some festivals like pull out chairs and it's not comfortable. So it's great to hear it and with the 5.1 surround sound too. And a local Denver person mixed it, and so it's really nice to hear in a theater. So that's great. Yeah.
Was there any moments that jumped out to you seeing it in a cinema?
I mean, I love
the
the locusts, hearing those, and I love hearing the bear. So, I mean, to me, I teach sound at CU Denver University, and so it's really nice to hear in a real theater. It's just a play. I mean, the screen's great, but the sound to me is what makes the difference.
Yeah, great. Let's have a start then. Let's talk about the idea. Where did it come from? Was it an image? Was there a dialogue, whatever it might be?
The last short I had, I finished it and I was looking, I'm like, I need to make something else. I want to keep my job. Because I teach. And so I reached out to a friend of mine who's a writer, and he gave me a bunch of short stories. And I said, oh, that one looks like really difficult to try to make, so let's do that one. Originally, in the short story, there's like 10 taxidermy grizzly bears. They have television monitors around their head, around their neck, and well, that's going to be expensive. These grizzly bears like $10,000. We can't do that. So there's a person who just started. Started working for my department, and he did like set design for Rogue One, Star Wars, and worked for Mythbusters for a long time. Said, oh, we might be able to get one big bear head. And so he built this like 8 foot tall, 8 foot wide bear head, which was awesome. So, yeah.
I like the way you knew someone to get a bear head from. Right?
Yeah. Totally free.
As you
do.
You never know when that might come in handy.
Yeah, I know.
Stephen, how many films have you made about Borley Rectory now?
This is the third.
Third one, okay. What is it about the place that keeps you coming back to the story?
Well, it's the fact that it's the most haunted ghost story, most haunted place in the whole of the United Kingdom. And I experienced things there when I was a child, going to the church courtyard, and obviously there's no actual rectory there anymore. It's all burned down in 1939. Right. So it's just fascinated me, anything the unexplained. And then of course people asked me to make them, so they're actually asking me to do another one. But that's really where I am with it. It's one of my favourite ghost stories.
Yeah. I apologise. This is a naive question. But the exteriors, is that the? I'm trying to ask here. Is it the same location, or is it a stand-in?
No, that's Ingerstone Hall, which is in Essex. Red bricked, very similar. Built around different areas of it. Were built around the same time.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, there are buildings that look exactly like it. There was lots of red brick buildings around that era. But no, sadly it burnt down, which is why there's the mystery behind it all. You can't go there and do ghost haunts. You can't do anything like that. It's the unknown.
And you use the same location in the other films you've made about it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, right. That's what I thought. It was different. There you go. Jess, how did you get involved in the project, and what drew you to when you read the script in the first place, I guess? What made you want to make it?
So this was actually my first film.
Okay.
Yeah, so I created a short film about 9 months prior with just me, a director of photography, someone who was holding the sound, and my scene partner. And then Louisa, who was a co-producer on this film, found my short film.
Okay.
And she felt like the essence of Kitty was in that
Mhm.
short film,
Mm.
and then passed that tape on to Steve, and then that's how Steve came to know of me, and then I did a self-tape for Steve.
Okay.
And then within 3 weeks of meeting Steve and doing my self-tape, I was on set.
Okay.
So that's how I got involved.
Okay. So your first film, and there's some very established actors of British TV and film in this: Patsy Kensit, Julian Glover, etc. Vicky Michelle, there's loads. How was it like? What was it like working with them?
I mean, when you're on set, you're just so focused on the work that it was great to work with them. But I was just so busy. Being lead in the film, you don't really have time to think about who the people are. You kind of just, and because we shot the film in under 2 weeks. So, I mean, we were just doing a scene, and then I was back in hair and makeup, and then that was back into another scene from 7 in the morning until 8 p.m. at night. So I didn't really have time to think, but it was wonderful. And to kind of look back on the process, you're like, wow, that was fun. But we went at like 100 miles an hour.
It was 11 days, including, well, the 12th day, it was like set up. And so it was really 11 and a half days of filming, that's all it was.
Yeah.
How did you get those people? I mean, I know you've worked with Mark Wingett before, haven't you? How did you get the other people on board?
Well, it wasn't money. It was just you kind of have a wish list of people, and then you develop it. So this was developed over a year in advance, and I work closely with the distributor. We talk about names. I talk to agents, and then you see who's available. And if you're doing something, they know you're good at what you do, or they're good guys. That's what they say. They're not going to muck you about. You can potentially get really good actors, well-named actors, for a day. I mean, for example, Helen was literally there for 3 hours. She came in. While we were filming something else, we were rehearsing with her, and I was going between the two. We shot it, and it was done. The same with Vicky. Hers was 2 or 3 hours maximum. And then Julian we had for a whole day, whereas Patsy we had her for a few days.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that process is a new step in filmmaking, because you're then having to manage the named actors, because the agents ask a lot more of what the actual people really want.
Right.
There were such nice people as well. They were wonderful to work with, but just really genuinely nice people.
Good to hear. The relationship between the daughter and the father in your film, Andrew, that has to be right in your film for it to work, and it does. How did you cast those two, and how did they work together on the set?
Yeah, they were great. We put out a casting call backstage, and so Ryan Thomas lives in LA, and it was right after, I think we shot this a few years ago, so there were a lot of actors that were really hungry to work, and Ryan is SAG eligible, but he wasn't in SAG, and he just killed the audition. We just did a Zoom audition, and then Lauren as well, she is in Colorado Springs. I think she's got her master's in psychology, I think. So she acts kind of on the side, but is really good at it and kind of killed it. And then we brought them together, and they're like, yeah, this works really well. So just really fortunate. I mean, we looked at a lot of actors, but they just killed it when they did the audition right off the bat.
This is a question for each of you. What would you say is an attribute that you need to have to be successful in your role, your respective roles?
Well, I just think you have to treat everybody with respect. Everybody the same way you would treat your closest friends or family, because no matter where they come from, they are working for you, and without that respect you can't really move forward. So that's what I would say, how I've been more successful, is to not be the stereotypical film director that you see in all the movies, but be just an ordinary person who's there, because these people, they're so creative, they want to be there, they're not being paid very much, or if not at all, and you end up in a situation where, well, you'll get more out of those people if you're nice to everybody, and everybody's nice to everybody else. So it's like a family, you create a family.
Yeah. I would say as a lead actress in a film, preparation, staying really focused on set because you are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So, and you've got to be very adaptable to. I mean, sometimes, you know, because of logistics, I might think I'm going into scene 40 and then we have to change it, and you've kind of just got to be so prepared that you know exactly where you are in the whole script, and then also to have fun. That was really important for me. So like in between takes or like in between times on the makeup chair, that's like being playful. And as Steve said, we were such a tight-knit family on Borley, and like lunchtimes were my favourite, and breakfast with a bacon roll was my favourite. So yeah, having fun as well.
My sort of snarky response is money. But the true one is we have patience. So most of the crew on my film are my students, except for a couple of key positions like the DP, and that's pretty much it. I think we had a professional key grip come up and kind of train the students on set. So it was a teaching set, so a lot of patience, basically. And I think what you said to Stephen is, or this kindness as well, I think it goes a long way. I was on set, so put yourself around talented people that work hard, and something really good is going to come out of that.
Well, you just get so much more out of everybody if you're nice to them. And that's as simple as knowing everybody's name, knowing how they feel the morning that they're there, what they're up to, you know, that kind of thing, because then they want to put effort in, and then you end up with a better product.
Did anyone have an audience question at this point? Pop your hand up and we'll get a microphone to you. Yes.
What was the one thing that you, or I should rephrase that, what was the best thing that you learned about filming during your films?
Is that to all of us?
Yes, yes.
Right, well, I think that I had learned something every day about filmmaking, because filmmaking, the whole process, isn't just making the film. It's from day one, when you come up with the idea and you sit down and you go, right, what are we going to do? Like, we're talking about, you know, you come up with these different ideas and you go, well, that's just going to cost too much. Or so you end up, from day one, you are constantly learning new things. And as a producer as well, you have your producer's head on one day, you have your writer's head on one day, you have your director's head on one day, and you have to be, and then you have to have a business mind as well, because you might say, oh well, I'm making a short and I've only got $10,000 to make a short, or you've got $50,000 to make a feature, and then you have to think, well, everything is a learning curve. So you learn, and as long as you learn from that, then the next film's going to be better.
I would say how important every single person is, and like they are integral to the film that we did, from like our runner to the people that were doing the smoke to the people that were trying to do the behind the scenes side effects. And then also, because everyone was so good at what they did and everyone was so focused on what they were doing, it made my job as an actress so easy. I could just be in my creative zone and be in the present moment when I was doing what I was doing. Every single person was just so integral. It really does take a village to create what we created.
Yeah, I totally agree with what they said. I also learned I never want to produce my own film again. I love producing, but trying to produce and direct at the same time is, for me, it's next to impossible. You know, it's like breakdown time.
My question is for Stephen. So I'm wondering what's on the site of Borley Rectory now, and is that a possibility for a film? And presumably, when it burnt down, didn't kill off all the ghosts or end all the ghosts.
So across the road from Borley Church is a one building that still stands, which was the next door to the rectory, and the rectory was at a weird angle. All that's there now is gardens. They even, in the 1950s, they went back and they dug up all of the basement and found some bones and then reburied them in Liston Church. Because what happened was that the parishes combined. So even though the church, the rectory burnt down, there wasn't a rector in there from 1937 onwards. So they feel that the person that was renting the place burnt it down deliberately for an insurance scam. That's what they say. But then there was no need to rebuild it. So you had this derelict building. Today it probably would have been, put back to life because it was an amazing looking building. But there's nothing there. The locals don't like you there, which we found out. But the church is still haunted. There's things, paranormal activity all the time there. The people that were involved in the rectory are buried in the church as well. So there's things going on. But the locals, it's a hamlet. It's really a hamlet near Sudbury in Essex.
Anyone else have a question? Oh, right back. Do I run it?
Come down and ask your question. Come on.
We'll come to you. It's all right, don't worry.
Where is it?
I'm old and tired.
Questions for Stephen. Congratulations on such a fine production. Fantastic, really enjoyed it. Very nice to see your name up there on the titles before the film even started, doing so much. From the directing, the producing, the screenwriting. I've done my own 2 short films and I'm doing it on myself and all. It was so nice to share, seeing that name up there, the same as what I did on my ones, albeit on a smaller scale. My main question for you is that obviously it's your third film on Borley Rectory, as was mentioned earlier on, but I just wondered if there's any evidence or shreds of truth on this at all, and the story that you've actually portrayed on the film, based on some of the reports of so-called hauntings and weird goings-ons that have gone on at the rectory, because there is a fair bit of documented storytelling, isn't there, that's gone down in history, and I just wondered if any of your films have actually been based along true lines and you've used a little bit of theatrical licence, which way you want to call it. That's it really. Any truth behind the story? There's a small version.
Okay, well, there is a lot of truth behind what you're seeing. So, just to cut it very short, because it's such a long story, Harry Price obviously started this in the 1930s, was sent there, he was a paranormal investigator, and that's what my previous story was set. It was set in around 1937. He had a team of paranormal investigators and people there. He lived there for a year. It was derelict. And in that time, they recorded things every day. So there is huge amount, 18-month period when things were recorded. But prior to that, you had things happening going all the way back to before the rectory was even built. Stories from locals. So the whole area was haunted. The story is that we're still not 100% sure whether there was a monastery, but it's probable there was some sort of religious thing there. But a lot of the stuff that you saw on screen in this film, all those people existed, except the paranormal investigator. That didn't exist, and Somerset's character didn't exist. But in reality, they actually had about 9 children. Some, a lot more are adopted, so we had to sort of bring that down to just sort of 3 or 4. In reality, her husband was a lot older, sort of 25 years older than her, so that's real. The things that you saw, the nun in the outside, that's all true. A lot of the paranormal things, the sounds, the seeing the nun, hearing footsteps, hearing cries, that kind of thing. All that stuff is real, but obviously it happened over a much longer period. So when you're making a movie, you have to kind of condense that into something that's enjoyable. Otherwise, you'll watch a 12-hour movie. And I obviously call this a slow burner. It's very much, it's cost us virtually nothing to make, shot in a very minimal amount of time. It would be great to be able to have the money that the Conjuring films have, because then you could create a lot more visual effects and a lot better, more intense stuff, But yeah, true stories. Everybody likes true stories. I would say you're looking at 50% of what was on the screen actually happened.
Thank you.
And thank you for liking the movie.
Anyone else? So, start with you, Andrew. What's the journey for your film now? Are you still showing it at festivals, things like that?
Yeah, so we're right in the middle of the run. Next week we play in the Dead Weird Festival in Austin, and then the Beverly Hills Film Festival, and the Pasadena Film Festival, and then a host of other festivals coming up too. So hoping to come back to England and the UK this summer too, hopefully. So we'll see.
Okay. And what's your next project? What are you working on?
I have a vampire film. It's about a vampire that doesn't want to be a vampire, so he goes to Sex Anonymous meetings. He lives in a van. I'm calling it Vampire.
I'm in. Yeah, thank you. See that next year then, yeah? Is that a short or a feature?
It's a short,
Okay.
but it could be expanded as well. So yeah, hopefully it'll be done by then. It takes me a long. I have a regular job, so it takes me a long time to finish things sometimes.
And you guys, well, first, Jess, have you got the acting bug now? Are you going to be more things? What are you working on next?
Yeah, of course. So I'm creating a few more short films. So we're writing and it's in development at the moment for the next few months.
Yep.
And then after that, we'll see.
Stephen, what? I know your films quite often go to streaming. I mean, this might already be. I don't know. Is it going to go to streaming, or what's the plan for it? And then what's your next film?
Right, so this was pushed forward by the distributor for the UK release, but it's actually going to play at 1,800 cinemas in Russia and 400 cinemas in Mexico. And it's probably this year that it'll be mainly released. It's just they wanted to push it through for Halloween in the UK. My next project, as you know, I tend not to talk about them. I tend to put false projects on IMDb because there are other people here who come to these sites, these festivals, and they may take your idea and make it for a lot less. So you have to protect yourself. But I have got something that's shooting in September, and it's bigger than this one. Okay. A good IP. It's a supernatural thriller.
Okay. Thank you all so much for submitting your film and coming here, especially all the way from the States. Really appreciate it. It's great.
I was just thank you. It's been great. So thank you. You all do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah, congratulations and good luck with your future projects, and see you again soon. Have a round of applause, please, for filmmakers. Thank you.